Welcome back to Day 7 of our 7-day Cybersecurity Bootcamp. I'm Mark Murley. Today we're going to wrap up this course. We're talking about data encryption and whole device encryption. We're going to learn how important it is to make sure that all the data that you have, especially on mobile devices, is unreadable by anyone who doesn't have the encryption keys. Encryption essentially is taking all the data on your hard drive, scrambling it all up into multiple sections and to unreadable, replacing text with different letters and whatever you can do to basically make it unreadable to anyone who doesn't have the decryption keys. In case your device is ever lost or stolen, say you left your laptop at the hotel and somebody else grabs it, it means that no one else can read your data. In the event of compliance, if you have your device encrypted and you lose it, it's also a safe harbor, meaning you do not have to report that as lost data. Before we begin, I want to go through and review what we did yesterday on day 6. That was our backup and disaster recovery day. We talked about how backup disaster recovery is now the final line of defense in the battle against ransomware. It's no longer just a place to restore your files and your folders and your images, your servers in case of a hard drive crash. We learned there's two major types of backups: file level backup and imaging. We went into detail of each one of those. If you need a review, please go back and watch day 6 again. We told you we had to determine your RTO, RPO to find out what type of backup system you need and where you need to keep your data and how much needs to be kept off-site and on-site. We know that you have to include cloud storage. Local storage is not enough because if you have a disaster or a fire that affects your hard drives on your server, it could also affect local backup storage as well. Talking about backup encryption, how everything must be encrypted in transport and in storage so that it doesn't get stolen. We also learned that your Office 365 and your G Suite and your Exchange server and your SQL server, they all require special applications to back those up. We cover each one of those in detail. Please go back and watch day 6 if you have any questions about that, or reach out to us here at NCS. We can help you determine if you need those and if you have those currently. We also provide a checklist that you can use to assess your current backup system. My name is Mark Murley, and I'm the CEO of Network Computer Solutions, and I'm going to be leading you through the day 7 of our 7-day cybersecurity bootcamp. So what is encryption? Encryption is necessary in today's world. Government and industry mandates demand it. And organizations don't comply with regulations such as the European General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR. They can risk financial ruin from the large fines that data breaches can attract. Just by simply not encrypting their data, they could be at risk by losing all their customers' data, all their financial information, and all that. On top of losing everything, they could also be subject to fines for not being compliant with the mandates. But even veteran security professionals are daunted. Encryption is perceived as an onerous task, complex enough to impact workflow, and complicated the use of mobile devices and in the cloud. But this course will walk you through designing an encryption implementation strategy that will secure your organization's data in the era of cloud and mobile devices in a way that is manageable, keeps complexity to a minimum, and little impact on user productivity. Typically, the whole practice of encrypting your data slows down your entire system. You have to be conscious of that because too much security can also slow down, your production. But you have to make sure if something is lost, you can be confident that is not going to be leaked into the wrong hands. The encryption process really starts with a raw file that you have on your network or on your PC, and a key is given to that file, and based on that key, there's an algorithm that runs that encrypts the file that you must have that same key to unlock it on the other side. You can then email or FTP that file anywhere you want it to go, and if anybody intercepts it in between, it's not readable. Once they receive the other end, they reverse the system. They receive the email, they get the encrypted file from the email, they put that private key that you shared with them in their system, it unlocks the code, and then they can view the file. So that means that only the two people who can read this file are the people who sent it and the person it was intended to receive it. The encryption key is always sent in a separate means so that it's not part of the email. Typically, they'll have to log into a secure site, verify their identity, and then at that point, they would be able to open the file, decrypt it, and view the file. This is very common in military documents and also banking documents. I get banking documents all the time, and I have to log into their website to unencrypt those. Office 365 has a built-in encryption system in some of their levels, and we also include a third-party encryption system as well for our clients. If you're sending data, whether it be HIPAA data, patient records, financial data, or even your own personal information, and you're not encrypting that information, what I think of it is, if you were to send something through the U.S. mail, and you send it in a plain white or plain clear envelope that anybody who carries it or has it in your mailbox can pick it up and read through the envelope without even opening it, then that's a problem. When you put it in a white envelope, it's somewhat secure. But what if you were to put a document into the U.S. mail, and when somebody opened it, all they saw was a bunch of random characters that meant nothing. But once the person who received it, they put it under a special light, and that unencrypted it so they can read the document. That's essentially what encryption process does to files, and it's so important that you have that and you keep your encryption and decryption keys private. We'll come right back with 6 steps of total data encryption.